What if I tell you that productivity can lead to increased anxiety, fatigue, and diminishing enthusiasm to accomplish certain tasks? Productivity is one of those things which determines how efficiently we use our time and resources to achieve our goals or get things done. But it can also lead to reduced performance, premature burnout, and can even send you on a little guilt trip. Now, don't get me wrong, productivity is not a monster that you have to run away from. Probably it's one of the best life hacks anyone can implement and have remarkable outcomes. But to be honest with you, sometimes I don't feel good about it. And I think part of the issue is that probably I went too aggressive on my productivity game. So for the coming few weeks, I'll try to slow down a little and make my tasks more flexible. But before I do that, it's really important to understand how my current schedule looks like that has started to make me feel more anxious and kind of negative about productivity. A few months ago, when I started my productivity thing, I wrote down every single task that I had to accomplish over the course of a week, including Sunday. And my schedule used to look something like this. Wake up every morning at 6, brush your teeth, make yourself a cup of tea or coffee depending on your mood, and pass the undigested food train out of your system. And all of these tasks were to be completed within an hour. Then at 7, I must hit the gym, work out for an hour, take a shower, and prepare my breakfast by 8:30 max. And then by 9 a.m. sharp, I need to do what pays my bills and feeds my cat. By 12, I'll go for my lunch, and again by 12:30, I should be back to work with 1 hour for house chores exactly at 3 p.m. By 5:30 or 6, I'll be done with work and call it a day. But the problem was, I thought I was done with the work by 6 p.m. max, but the reality was I was not. Let me explain. By 6 p.m., I'd open a book or watch a video related to the work I do. I'd spend hours watching tutorials related to filmmaking, color grading, or why the YouTube algorithm hates me. By 8:30, I'd have my dinner, and by 9, I'd read a book, and by 10:30 sharp, I'd have my shower before hitting the sack. And for the entire week, it would be the same pre-planned, time slot dictated, and disciplined routine until it's Sunday morning. Although it would be my rest day from the gym, I'd still spend the whole Sunday learning a new skill and experimenting with my camera. But gradually, I started to feel exhausted and kind of demotivated to repeat the same process every day. I felt I wasn't having the same kind of energy that I used to have a few months ago. So in order to find the answers for my struggles, I did some research on the internet. And man, was I wrong. I used to think the only way to be successful was to always stay out of your comfort zone, don't let excuses trickle their way in that could potentially break the momentum of your productive schedule, and keep pushing harder and harder until you've made it. Now, those things are true, and I think all the things that we want in our life are out of our comfort zone, but that doesn't mean we have to punish ourselves in the name of productivity and hustle culture. So after doing my research, I started to make significant changes in my daily schedule, and one of the things I identified was that I didn't fit enough breaks between my daily tasks. And I'm not talking about coffee breaks or lunch breaks. I'm talking about breaking away from anything and everything that I was doing that day. I realized I've always had afternoon crashes a few minutes after my lunch. But because I'm bound to my work schedule, I couldn't take a power nap. I used to think if I crashed for, say, 15 minutes to half an hour, it would be like committing a crime against my highly productive schedule. But I think sometimes it's important to pay attention to our physiological signals and really listen to our bodies. So one significant change I made in my daily schedule was to take a 30-minute power nap right after I had my lunch. But I made sure I woke up exactly 30 minutes later. I also realized I was spending my Sundays more with my camera and less with my family. So I made a major change in my schedule to find more time for friends and family. If I feel like I need to call somebody, I must do it. Also, I made my book reading schedule more flexible. I gave myself permission to maybe skip a good read and go out on a drive or have ice cream instead. I also stopped watching too many tutorials every evening because I realized even my official work was over, I was still engaging my brain into work-related videos in the name of entertainment. Instead of spending more time maybe watching planes flying over my head or spending time with my plants, I was burning the heck out of my brain for 12 hours straight. And after making those significant changes in my time-blocked daily schedules, just by looking at it, I was feeling much more relieved and kind of positive about my productivity gain. Now, it's true that following a productive lifestyle will put us on the clock, and it may feel like we are anchored down by schedules and we kind of have a pressure to accomplish those tasks on time. And when we fail to complete those tasks on time, we blame ourselves, thinking that probably we are lazy, we're not that committed, or maybe there is something inherently wrong within us that we are unable to keep up with this productive lifestyle. And believe it or not, but all of these thoughts are wrong. We all are capable of being committed, disciplined, and 100% able to adapt a productive lifestyle. But the only thing is that we have to intentionally allow ourselves to have free-flowing ideas and sufficient rest periods. So I think the name of the game is not overcommitting to ourselves and not pushing ourselves to the extreme just because we have the energy and the motivation to be productive. Because eventually all of that energy is gonna fizz out if we have our meters always dialed at 100%. We also need to allow ourselves to have a do-nothing moment and be intentionally bored. By the way, I've made a cool video about why boredom is sometimes necessary and how it changed me forever. So if you haven't watched the video already, you can just check it out somewhere here. It helps the algorithm and helps me to keep you all entertained.